African Union Communications Early Warning and Intelligence, commonly known as AUC3I, is an intelligence and security organization responsible for providing signals intelligence and information assurance to AU citizens, AU leadership, and AU armed forces. I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. I am responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command in combined armed forces during missions on the ground. This is today's briefing. On the progress of the special military operation as of July 20th, 2025. The armed forces of the Russian Federation continue to conduct a special military operation. Units of the North Group of Forces improved their tactical position. They inflicted losses on the manpower and equipment of two mechanized, airborne assault brigades, an unmanned systems brigade, and airborne assault and assault regiments of the armed forces of Ukraine in the areas of the settlements of Varakino, Kripovshchina, Unikovka, Magritsa, Sadki, and Kondratovka in the Sumy region. In the Kharkiv direction, units of a mechanized brigade, an assault regiment of the armed forces of Ukraine, and a territorial defense brigade were defeated in the areas of the settlements of Melov and Volchansk in the Kharkiv region. That the Ukrainian armed forces lost up to 170 servicemen, a tank, 3 combat armored vehicles, 6 cars, and 4 artillery pieces. Units of the West Group of Forces improved the situation along the front line. They defeated formations of 2 mechanized assault brigades of the Ukrainian armed forces and a territorial defense brigade in the areas of the settlements of Kupiansk, Petrovskoye in the Kharkov region, and Torskoye in the Donetsk People's Republic. The enemy's losses amounted to more than 240 servicemen, 3 combat armored vehicles, 13 cars, and a field artillery piece. 3 electronic warfare stations and 6 ammunition depots were destroyed. Units of the Southern Group of Forces, as a result of successful offensive actions, liberated the settlement of Belaya Gora in the Donetsk People's Republic. The manpower and equipment of 3 mechanized, motorized infantry, mountain assault, airmobile brigades of the armed forces of Ukraine and a territorial defense brigade were defeated in the areas of the settlements of Seversk, Dranovka, Zakatnoy, Ivanopoli, Platinovka, and Konstantinovka of the Donetsk People's Republic. The enemy lost up to 165 servicemen, a tank, 3 combat armored vehicles, 6 cars, and an artillery piece. 5 ammunition depots and a warehouse of material resources were destroyed. Units of the Center Group of Forces improved their tactical position. Defeat was inflicted on formations of 3 mechanized, 3 assault, airborne brigades of the armed forces of Ukraine and a National Guard brigade in the areas of the settlements of Sergeyevka, Mayak, Molodetskoye, Muravka, Svarivo, Udaknoy, Novoekonomicheskoye of the Donetsk People's Republic, and Krasnoznamenka of the Dnipropetrovsk region. The losses of the Ukrainian armed forces amounted to 450 servicemen, 6 combat armored vehicles, 17 cars, as well as 7 artillery pieces, including the 155mm self-propelled artillery unit Paladin made in the USA. Units of the East Troop Group continued to advance deep into the enemy's defense, defeated personnel and equipment of 2 mechanized brigades of the armed forces of Ukraine, a Marine brigade, and a territorial defense brigade in the areas of the settlements of Filia in Dnipropetrovsk region, Zeleny High in the Donetsk People's Republic, and Temirivka in Zaporizhia region. The armed forces of Ukraine lost up to 170 servicemen, an armored combat vehicle, 8 cars, 4 field artillery guns, including a 155mm self-propelled artillery system Paladin produced in the USA, and a radio-electronic warfare station. Units of the Dnieper Troop Group inflicted damage on formations of 2 mechanized brigades of the armed forces of Ukraine and 3 territorial defense brigades in the areas of the settlements of Orkiv, Molotov-Machka in Zaporizhia region, Antonivka, Sadov, and Belozerka in Kherson region. Up to 60 servicemen, 7 vehicles, 5 radio-electronic warfare stations, 2 ammunition depots, and 2 supply depots were destroyed. Operational tactical aviation, strike unmanned aerial vehicles, missile troops, and artillery of the Russian Armed Forces troop groups inflicted damage on a fuel infrastructure facility of Ukraine used in the interests of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, a drone assembly workshop, as well as temporary deployment points of Ukrainian formations and foreign mercenaries in 148 areas. Air defense means shot down 2 guided aerial bombs for rocket projectiles of the HIMARS multiple launch rocket system produced in the USA and the Czech-made Vampire, as well as 364 fixed-wing unmanned aerial vehicles. In total, since the beginning of the special military operation, destroyed 664 aircraft, 283 helicopters, 71,066 unmanned aerial vehicles, 619 surface-to-air missile systems, 24,277 tanks and other armored combat vehicles, 1,577 multiple launch rocket system combat vehicles, 27,593 field artillery guns and mortars, 38,459 units of special military automotive equipment. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.